Hey everyone, it's the Cinema Dude, and welcome back to my channel for a late Sunday night edition of my weekly videos. As you can see, I'm not in the movie room this week, but in my kitchen. I have a stack of releases from the past month or so that I want to show you guys. I am wearing my Night of the Creeps t-shirt from Fright Rags, as today is the anniversary of its release, one of my favorite horror movies. And actually, speaking of Fright Rag shirts, I got this really cool one today, right at Spirit Halloween. Yeah, Spirit Halloween now has some Fright Rags merchandise, so kind of cool that a local place is now at the big nationwide stores and stuff of Spirit Halloween. So, but let's hop into the releases. I have some Arrow, Second Sight, Kino, some Vestron video, and some other stuff. So we'll start with the box sets from Arrow. The first one is Vengeance Trails. This is 4 classic Westerns. That is the front, and that is the back. These are spaghetti Westerns made during the period of after the Dollars trilogy. It says right here, in the mid-60s, the runaway success of Sergio Leone's Dollar trilogy gave rise to an explosion of similar productions as filmmakers by the dozen sought to capitalize on this new, uniquely Italian take on the Western. Characterized by their deeply cynical outlook, morally compromised anti-heroes, and unflinching depictions of savage violence. This specialty curated selection gathers together 4 outstanding examples of the genre from the height of its popularity, all centered around a theme of revenge. So in here we have Massacre Time, which is a film by Lucio Fulci. My Name is Pecos. I've also seen it said as Pecos. There is Banditos and God Said to Cain. And it says, in Lucio Fulci's Massacre Time, Franco Nero and George Hilton star as estranged brothers forced to band together against the powerful businessman and his sadistic son, who have seized control of their hometown. And Masurio Lucides, My Name is Pecos, Robert Woods stars as the infamous Mexican gunslinger returning to Houston to settle a long-standing score against the racist gang boss, who wiped out his entire family. And Massimo Dallamino's Banditos, Enrico Maria Salerno plays a former top marksman who, years after being maimed by a former proceeds, teams up with a fresh apprentice to get his revenge against the man who betrayed his family. And then finally, in Antonio Margheriti's And God Said to Cain, Klaus Kinski stars as a man who has spent the last decade in a prison work camp for a crime he didn't commit, and who, upon his release, immediately sets out to wreak vengeance on the men who framed him. So as you can see, there's a whole bunch of different stars and some high-profile directors like Fulci and Antonio Margheriti. So it has here a new high-definition presentation of all 4 films, 2K restorations on all 4 films from the original 35mm camera negatives, with Massacre Time, My Name is Pecos, and Banditos, newly restored by Arrow Films for this release. There is Italian and English front and end titles on all 4 films, with the English titles for In God Said to Cain, newly restored by Arrow Films for this release. Restored original lossless mono-Italian and English soundtracks for all films. English subtitles. There is a booklet by author and critic Howard Hughes. Fold-out double-sided poster. Limited edition packaging with reversible sleeves. And then in each one, so for Massacre Time, there's an alternative US dub. There's an audio commentary by C. Courtney Joyner and Henry Park. Two Men Alone, a new documentary with new video interview with actor Franco Nero, an archive video interview with George Hilton. The Era of Violence, a new video interview with film historian Fabio Mellini, Italian trailer and image gallery. For My Name is Picos, a new audio commentary with actor Robert Woods, and C. Courtney Joyner, a Giant in the West, a new video interview with actor George Eastman. Also, his real name is Luigi Montefiore, but he did go by George Eastman for both this kind of stuff, and he was in some horror stuff too. Indecent Proposal, there's another interview, Picos Kills, a documentary featuring new video interview with Fabio Mellini and the cinematographer. There for Banditos now, there is a interview with Kat Ellinger, Man in the Saloon, an interview, video interview. They call him Simon, a video interview, and then another video interview as well, and then alternative end title sequence. And then God Said to Cain, there is an audio commentary by Howard Hughes, Between Gothic and Western, a new documentary, and then Of Night and Wind, a new video interview, and then image gallery. So whole host of stuff on this one. Again, kind of a cool set the Arrow put out, especially doing with spaghetti westerns. And then like you said, so this one, the big one, has Massacre Time, and then Banditos. And then a booklet. And the booklet is around like 50 pages. So a whole bunch of pictures and different essays in it. There is 4 essays in here going about the different movies, and then there's also about the restorations as well. Again, the booklets now are a little different now. They have more of a sheen to it. Kind of that, you can see the kind of reflection stuff. So, but still very high quality book. And then here is Massacre Time. And then it has the inside of it. Can't tell which one I like better, actually. This kind of one inside is kind of a cool little cover for it. And Arrow has gone now to these, which is kind of funny because the next set still has kind of the bigger ones, but a lot of their ones now have gone to this kind of small size cases. And again, the inside. And then we have Banditos. And kind of look at that cover. Definitely has more of a old school kind of Western vibe, and not a spaghetti Western vibe. So kind of different one compared to this one that has more of a almost like a Django type cover to it. And then, as you can see, Klaus Kinski and God Save the Cain. And then that is the cover. So about the same. So this is Vengeance Trail set. So excited to have this one in my collection. I definitely missed out on the first the first one of the Sartana films. So when these came out, because a lot of these ones, especially in God Said to Cain, those have been on like just those 50 movie packs before, so not in really good condition and stuff, but to now have these in really nice editions, very excited to check those out and have those in my collection. Now we're going from one Italian genre in the spaghetti westerns to another Italian genre in the Eurocrime films of the 70s. And this is the Years of Lead box set, 5 Italian crime thrillers from 1973 to 1977. This includes The Savage 3 and Like Rabid Dogs. No, the case is happily resolved. Colt 38, Special Squad, and Highway Racer. So those are the different ones. Let's see, is there any... let's see. Let's see if there's any of the same directors. Yes, it does, right here. Let's see. This one has for Massimo Del Mino, who is also in the... let's see, he did, again... Banditos, and he also did Colt 38. So these are a whole bunch of, for those who don't know, during the 70s, kind of, there was chaos in Italy. There was political corruption, there was widespread terrorism of left and right-wing groups. There was a breakdown in societal cohesion and the loss of trust in public institutions such as the government and police, because they really couldn't do anything. The gangs and the terrorists were kind of just running rampant. But because of that, the movie industry actually was a boom because of things, not only with the ending of kind of the spaghetti westerns, but also with the giallo films and with these kind of Eurocrime films. In Italy, they are known as poliziotteschi films, but mostly they're also known as Eurocrime and things like that. So, 5 films from the heyday of this kind of genre. There, like I said, there is Savage 3, Like Rabid Dogs. Savage 3 is from 75. Like Rabid Dogs is from 76. Colt 38 Special Squad is from 76, and Highway Racer is from 77. And then No, the Case is Happily Resolved is from 73. So it says here, just a little bit on there, back, it says the box gathers 5 films from the heyday of the Eurocrime, and it says here too that for Savage 3, random acts of violence committed by Savage 3 and Like Rabid Dogs, random acts of violence committed by vicious young sociopaths threaten the very fragile fabric of respectable society. Colt 38 Special Squad and Highway Racer, renegade cops battle against red tape and political corruption, turn to new and morally ambiguous methods to disperse justice. And then class dynamics are explored in No, the Case is Happily Resolved, as an innocent man finds himself under suspicion for a savage crime committed by a highly respected member of society. Decried by critics for their supposedly fascist overtones, the Euro crimes were in fact more ideologically varied and often considered more nuanced than such superficial readings would suggest, and proved a huge hit with theatergoers who responded with their own articulation of present-day social concerns. And like I said, there's a whole bunch of people who were both in giallo films and also in spaghetti westerns as well. In here, there is a new 2K restoration of Colt 38 Special Squad, exclusive for this release. There is a whole bunch of visual essays. Let's see, anybody pick out? Let's see. Yeah, just a whole bunch of different ones from film historians and actors. Let's see. There is alternative endings to know the case is happily resolved, original trailers, poster galleries, and reversible sleeves. And like I said, the book as well. So here is the one inside, and this is for no, the case is happily resolved. And like I said, surprisingly, they went with these bigger ones. Especially for the box set, usually they've been going for this thinner ones. So, like Rabid Dogs is on the inside. And then on the inside of this one is Highway Racer. So this one and the Weird Wisconsin set, they've done it where they've kind of put two films together on a disc and such. And then, like I said, this book is like 58 pages and just a whole bunch of different essays. Let's see. Does it go? Yeah, so it goes actually by each film, and it has a cast and crew and then a different essay in there. So it's kind of cool. We have a Kat Ellinger one in here, Troy Howarth, Michael McKenzie. So a whole bunch of kind of cool. So this is the Years of Lead set. So Arrow's been putting out some really good releases this year. Some nice box sets. Their next kind of big one is they have the Dune set coming out. Then they have the Cold War Creature set, which is the Sam Katzman box set. That one I'm looking forward to. That one's going to have like the giant claw and things like that. And then at the end of the year, they're going to have their big Shaw Brothers. I believe it's the first volume of that, which is kind of exciting. That's not just going to have just martial arts stuff. One of the films in that release is actually going to be the Mighty Peking Man, which is a kind of their take on the King Kong kind of story. So kind of cool to see that on Blu-ray. So, but those are my Arrow sets. So let's hop into some of the other stuff that I have. The next one is a Second Sight edition of Lake Mungo. This was a found footage film from 2007, 2008. And this one came out this year. And I don't believe this had a release before. If it did, it was a... I know it was on streaming and things like that, but I don't know if it had like a release here in America. But a really nice release. It comes with some art cards, kind of like what from the box and stuff. So there's 3 of those. Then it comes with this really nice book. This book is around like 80 pages. Again, goes through the whole. Let's see, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different essays, and a whole bunch of behind the scenes images and stuff. So a really cool book on that the movie. Here is the case, and like I said, it's a nice hardcover too. I have another Second Sight of oh man, now I can't think of it now. When a Stranger Calls, the original. So I saw that they had this, and usually Second Sight ones are not that bad. Wise for price and stuff. So these were actually relatively very cheap and stuff. So kind of cool to add this. So here it says 16-year-old Alice Palmer tragically drowns while swimming in the local dam. In the days that follow, her grieving family begins to experience a series of strange and inexplicable events. Seeking the help of a parapsychologist, their search for answers reveal that Alice has been living a disturbed life and hiding dark secrets. Something had haunted their daughter, and the terrifying truth awaits at Lake Mungo. You have a audio commentary, Archive 1, with producer David Rapsey and director of photography John Brawley. There is a new audio commentary by Alexandra Heller-Nicholas and Emma Westwood. Captured Spirits, interview with John Brawley. Ghost of the Machine, a interview with producer David Rapsey. A Cop and a Friend, interview with actors Carol Patullo and James Lawson. Kindred Spirits, filmmakers Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead on Lake Mungo. They're the guys behind The Endless and a few of the other kind of cool films they do, Spring and so on. Hosting Spirits, filmmaker Rob Savage on Lake Mungo. And then there is a video essay by film writer Josh Nelson. And then an autopsy of a family home, a video essay by Joseph Wallace, and then deleted scenes. So again, kind of cool. Really kind of cool found footage film that has some breaks in it that isn't, it kind of goes back and forth, and there's kind of cool stuff with like cell phones and things like that. So, but very cool to have a Lake Mungo in my collection. Now we're going to jump to some Kino releases. The first is a Mario Bava and overall horror classic, and that is Black Sunday with Barbara Steele. Was kind of missing this in my collection, and just was like, oh, yep, I don't have this. So this is the regular Italian version of this one. I believe there's only 2 of them there like that in the Kino collection, but there's this and Black Sunday that both have an AIP release that's on Blu-ray, but this is the regular Italian version. So it's mastered in HD from an archival 35mm print. There's an audio commentary by Tim Lucas, which is kind of cool, author of Mario Bava, All the Colors of the Dark, theatrical trailers, and then trailers to other Bava films. And it says, in one of the most auspicious directorial debuts in movie history, Mario Bava bridged the gap between the Gothic horror picture and the European art film with Black Sunday, also known as The Mask of Satan. Made in 1960 and now considered a cult classic, I would definitely consider it a classic of the genre, continues to reverberate through the cinema, inspiring and influencing new generations of filmmakers. An absolutely mesmerizing performance, Black Sunday stars Barbara Steele as Aja, a beautiful woman tormented and executed as a witch, but not before pronouncing a curse upon those who have condemned her, a curse that is fulfilled some 200 years later. And this one is from 2012, this release. And I believe the AIP one is a little later. I want to say maybe 2015 or so. But I believe this version is a tad bit longer than the AIP version because they cut some things and stuff. So, but that is Black Sunday. So like I said, wanted some more kind of the European horror stuff. I have a few Giallo films and things like that, but since I've gotten that Christopher release, I've kind of been more interested in the kind of Euro horror of like that 60s period and stuff. And yes, part of Europe, but going more with the British side of things, we have a Hammer film directed by the great Terence Fisher and starring the great Sir Christopher Lee, and that is The Man Who Could Cheat Death. This one is from 1959, and his terrifying secret, his hideous obsession, made him the man who could cheat to death. Dr. Georges Bonnet has found a way to live forever. All he needs are glands from some very unwilling donors. Anton Drifling stars as the Mad Doctor in this chilling Hammer horror classic. As he struggles against the inevitable icy grip of death, Doctor begins a descent into madness that threatens to destroy the laws of nature and the lives of those he cares for the most. The only person who can stop his unholy quest is horror legend Christopher Lee. Great direction by Hammer legend Terrence Fisher. Based on a play by Mari Linden, and then co-starring the beautiful Hazel Court, who is in premature burial. So like I said, this is a Hammer film from 59. You have Troy Hothworth, audio commentary. And then you have an interview with, which is about 17 minutes long, with Kim Newman, and then one with Jonathan Rigby, which is about around 16 minutes, 17 minutes, and then some trailers as well. So again, a different one. This one usually is paired with The Skull, and just a different Hammer horror film that I did not have. So excited to put that part of my Hammer collection. Now we hit two Vestron video releases. One came out, I would say, last month. And then this one actually just came out this week, and I picked this one up today. And the first one is The Wraith, starring Charlie Sheen, Nick Cassavetes, Randy Quaid. This one is from 86. This one didn't have a Blu-ray release up until now. It did have some DVD releases, but they weren't the best. But it says Charlie Sheen, Nick Cassavetes, Sherilyn Fenn, and Randy Quaid starred in this turbocharged cult classic. When four glowing orbs crash into each other over the Arizona desert, they leave in their wake a badass Dodge Turbo Interceptor and its dynamic helmeted driver. The next day, the mysterious Jake appears in the town of Brooks, catching the eye of Carrie and the eye of Packard, the ruthless leader of a gang of street racers. When the gang members start losing races and lives to the Interceptor, the recent death of Carrie's boyfriend suddenly seems connected to the arrival of Jake, the unbeatable car, and an avenging entity called the Wraith. So there is audio commentaries with Mike Marvin, writer and director. There is audio commentaries with actor Dave Shrell and Jamie Bozen. Interviews with Tales from the Desert, Rughead Speaks. That one has Clint Howard in it. Ride of the Future with some of the stunt coordinators. The Ghost Car with special effects. Featurette, the Wraith filming locations then and now. Alternative title sequence, still galleries, theatrical trailers, TV spots, and then an isolated score selection. So that is The Wraith. And kind of cool too, because these have been, since the Shivers one, have been around $12.98 or $13 or so at Walmart, and definitely kind of cool for what you get for these for a decent price. So definitely trying to support Vestron to keep pumping out some of these releases. And speaking of new releases, they have the horror comedy Sundown, The Vampire in Retreat. And now this one I definitely know was only a VHS, and then it came to Blu-ray finally. The first time I heard about this film was on Scarecrow Video's Viva Physical Media YouTube kind of show, and they were talking about this, and then about a month or so later they announced it on a Blu-ray. So this has David Carradine, it has Max Caulfield, Bruce Campbell, John Ireland, Emmett Walsh is in here. So David Carradine plays a vampire in the town of Purgatory, and he is seeking atonement for centuries of human carnage, and he's instructed the other vampires to slather on SPF 100 sunblock, pursue daytime activities, and drink only synthetic blood. But there are some vampires that don't agree with him. They want the real thing, and if that means wooden bullets flying in a vampire civil war, so be it. Like I said, a wild horror comedy also stars Bruce Campbell, Max Caulfield, M. Emmett Walsh, and John Ireland. So you have an audio commentary with director Anthony Hicks. You have isolated score selection, interviews. So there's The Weird Wild West, Bloodsuckers with Purgatory. There's one with Bruce Campbell. There's one with David Carradine, an archival interview with him. And then an interview with M. Emmett Walsh. And then a theatrical trailer in Stills Gallery. So that is Sundown, the Vampire in Retreat. We have a few more. The next one is the only film I picked up during the Criterion sale, and this is the 1947 film noir with a little tint of horror aspects in it, and that is Nightmare Alley. This when it was first announced, I was like, "Oh, definitely want to pick this up." One to add to my film noir collection, but it's really a pretty awesome film. So, darkness lures behind the bright lights of a traveling carnival in one of the most haunting and perverse film noirs of the 40s. Adapted from the scandalous bestseller by William Lindsay Gresham, Nightmare Alley gave Tyrone Power a chance to subvert his matinee idol image with a ruthless performance as Stanton Carlyle, a small-town carny whose innocuous charm propels him to fame as a charlatan spiritualist, but whose unchecked ambition leads him down a path of moral degradation and self-destruction. Although its strange, sordid atmosphere shocked contemporary audiences, this long difficult-to-see reflection of post-war anguish has now taken its place as one of the defining noirs of its era, a fatalistic downward slide into existential oblivion. So for this, it's a 4K digital restoration. There is a audio commentary from 2005 with film historians James Ursini and Alan Silver. There is a new interview with critic Omgin Sarah Smith. There is a interview with performer and historian Todd Robbins. There is a 2007 interview with actor Colleen Gray. There is a 1971 excerpt from an interview with Henry King, a trailer, and then there is a essay, and then there's also some tarot cards that kind of come with this with the different characters on there. So very excited to have this film noir in my collection. The first time I saw this was on the TCM app and stuff, and that was really cool. Guillermo del Toro's next film is a remake of this. So that is Nightmare Alley. And we're going to finish up with two more. One I actually picked up today from Big Lots. I was very surprised to find a Scream Factory release. But these are two Armando de Osorios, the director of the Blind Dead series. So Tomb of the Blind Dead, Night of the Seagulls, a whole bunch of those. And it is this double feature that has The Night of the Sorcerers and Lorelei's Grasp. Both are from 1974. The Night of the Sorcerers, a group of explorers arrive in Africa to study the wildlife in the same area where a brutal native ritual occurred in 1910. All is tranquil until night falls and distant drumming draws one of the female members of the group to investigate the jungle. From there, a nightmare will be awakened, a nightmare of zombie natives and scantily clad vampire women who prowl the moonlight jungle in search of fresh blood and more victims to sacrifice. That one has alternative footage and theatrical trailer. And then Lorelei's Grasp. In a town by the Rhine River, young women are turning up dead, savagely torn to pieces and their hearts missing, concerned that whatever beast is doing these horrible murders will end up attacking the female students a nearby school for women hire a hunter to find and kill the creatures. The hunter will soon find out that this is no ordinary beast that craves human hearts, but rather a deceptively alluring and mysterious being, the Lorelei, who is already looking for another heart to use in a gruesome ancient ritual. And the special features on that one are commentary with Rob Barnett and Troy Gunn from the podcast The Nashi Cast, and a theatrical trailer. So again, like I said, kind of cool to find a double feature of Scream Factory for $3. And I may be wrong, but this one might be out of print or maybe going out of print. So again, kind of cool to find that one. And then finally, we end this video with a SRS cinema release that I got at Walmart as well, and that is Howl from Beyond the Fog. This is, let's see what the year this is from. This is very recent. I want to say this is maybe 2019 or so. This came out, and what's really cool about this is it's only 35 minutes, but it's all through puppets and like stop motion animation and stuff. It says set in Kyushu during the Meiji era, a blind girl named Takari and the blind monster from the nearby lake named Nebula fight against greedy developers who threaten to take over her family's land. Using an all-puppet human cast and a fantastic monster suit, it offers a new aesthetic in the world of kaiju films. And what's really cool about this is not only just kind of how they made it and stuff, but on this there is actually a making of that is the exact same length as the movie itself. So really cool. Like they could have just went, okay, here's a little 5-minute thing. But they took the time to make just something just as long as the movie to explain how everything went into it. Then there's a trailer, and then the SRS Cinema trailer as well. So really cool that SRS Cinema is putting out just different independent and unique kaiju films. Definitely really like supporting them, especially too if they start going more into the vaults and going to some of the stuff that hasn't been either released at all or not seen. The Riga films are kind of cool. I remember for the longest time those were so hard to see in America, and now you got all three of them. They've put out War of the God Monsters, which was a film that for the longest time was something you could only see in Korea and stuff. So really kind of cool that they keep kind of putting out these kaiju films and kind of keep supporting them. So that is Howl from Beyond the Fog. So like I said, everybody, that was a pretty huge stack of stuff. I would definitely recommend the Vestron stuff, this video, the Arrow stuff, definitely. Those are limited releases, so definitely hop on those. The Lake Mungo one is also kind of a limited release as well. So, but that is all for my late Sunday night video. Hope all of you are doing well. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, there goes one of my cats. I've now hit 200 subscribers on YouTube, so I really do appreciate everybody's watching. Everybody is enjoying these. I know I'm enjoying making these. And like I said, I hope you guys enjoy watching them and such. So next week, we're going to be actually looking at some movie books. Yes, I haven't done a video yet on the kind of, I have a whole shelf full of movie books. So based on directors, based on different topics and stuff. So we're going to go through those next week. So check that out and look forward to that. So everybody have a great week, and remember, be kind and rewind. We'll see you guys later.